Still don't know the extent of the damage.
We haven't been able to get through to anyone since the explosion. What about Alma? What happened to her? What was that sound?
YouTubers, Max18363 here, and this is part 1 of my F.E.A.R Extraction Point playthrough. Yeah!
Looks like we're all still alive.
Small favors. I can't reach anybody on the radio. Something's blocking the signal. That's not good.
We'll find another way down. You're in no condition to climb through that hole.
I'm fine.
Sure you are. Let's move.
Oh, excuse me. So, oh dear me, you're choking here. I figured the time was apt to continue my examination of the F.E.A.R saga. Of course, I've recently just finished playing through the first F.E.A.R, or First Encounter Assault Recon, and this is now the expansion pack. Aptly named Extraction Point, as that is pretty much the main goal of the game, as I'm sure you can see, to basically escape the city and get to the extraction point. Now this is going to be fun in games doing this, because it's not a game that I've actually finished. I have played it, but not to the end. When I previously played this game, and it was quite some time ago now, I have to say, it was on kind of one of my older hard drives, an old 80GB hard drive, if you can believe that. These days I think we're up to like terabyte hard drives, so this was an old 80GB hard drive, and it was like several years old, and basically I got quite far into this game, and the thing died on me, basically, so I never actually got to the end, so I don't know how this ends. So when I played through F.E.A.R, I had the advantage of I'd already played the game from start to finish several times. I don't have that advantage this time round. I've only played it once, not even to the end, so I suppose I'll be a little blind to some of the later levels. But that's not to say that I don't have anything to say about Extraction Point.
Man, it's dark.
And despite what Monolith think, I still personally feel it is very much a valid entry point into the F.E.A.R universe. And we'll kind of go into all the ins and outs and whys, and as we progress through this adventure. It's also a slightly quieter game than Quake 4, so I'll actually get a chance to speak a bit more often, hopefully without having to drastically turn down the audio settings. On that note, Quake 4 will be continuing, don't worry, I'll still do those videos, but it's just kind of taking a back seat for the moment. I'll be honest, I was missing the Point Man adventures, so this is why we're doing this. So I'll be kind of doing the two side by side, if you like. But just to kind of try and clarify my earlier point, I mean, Extraction Point isn't... I'll need to double check my facts here, but I don't think it was actually made by Monolith as such. It was actually a separate studio called Timegate Studios that actually made the game that we're looking at right now, Extraction Point. And as far as Monolith are concerned, it's not technically a part of the F.E.A.R timeline, so when you play through the sequel F.E.A.R 2, as far as they're concerned, the events in this game technically haven't happened, if that makes sense. But I think that's a bit unfair. I still feel it is an I'll start again. It is an expansion pack, so it doesn't raise the bar, but it's still valid.
When F.E.A.R was killed, the replicas deactivated.
He's dead now.
I wanted to examine him.
Preemptive strike. Keep your radio on, and we'll hook up down the road.
personally, I quite liked it. Like I say, I have played it once before, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Admittedly, the first few levels, there is a few dull bits kind of at the start of the game. Oh, excuse me. There is a few dull parts in the early parts of the game, it has to be said. It does get off to a bit of a slow start.
Oh, I sure as shit hope that wasn't alright.
But once you get a bit further into it, I still think there are some perfectly exciting levels in it. I thoroughly enjoyed my experience in Extraction Point. I'm going to be sharing that with you over the next few weeks or whatever. It is clear to me that though Timegate Studios, I still think they're capable. I don't know if they're actually still in existence. I don't know, it's been like 5 years since this game was made, so...
What, apart from the obvious?
For starters, this city is empty.
Must have been a radioactive element to the origin explosion and the city was evacuated.
Cities don't empty this quick.
So I still think they're a perfectly capable studio, but it is clear that they don't quite have the knack for pacing that Monolith had in the first game of F.E.A.R, and I'm kind of more referring to some of the horror elements, but we'll see that as we go into the game. They just don't quite have the ability to hit it on the head, if you know what I mean. But we'll see that as we go. But from an action standpoint, it's pretty much just more of the same. It's an expansion pack at the end of the day, it's not a sequel. A lot of people seem to get confused about that, I don't know why.
It's got to be Alma.
The ghost kid?
She's a lot more than that. We're in a lot of trouble. Ghosts don't create temporal and spatial anomalies.
Looks like our girl's got a new hobby then.
So I'm going to say it one more time, just for effect. It is an expansion pack. It means an extension of the original, not a sequel. It's not supposed to completely revolutionise the game. It's basically more of the same, with a few tweaks flung in, as we'll see as we go. That didn't make any sense. Never mind. I'll tell you what else doesn't make sense. This next cutscene, this blew my head off when I first came across this scene. It's just like, what the fuck? How is he still alive? But we'll see as we go.
I know it doesn't make sense. Not much does anymore. You killed me. I didn't like that.
So that's pretty much a wrap for this one then. That's kind of the first level of F.E.A.R Extraction Point. And there'll be plenty to talk about. There's been a few, I suppose we'll need a little recap in the story and stuff if you're kind of struggling to remember what happened at the end of F.E.A.R, but we'll get to all that in due time. This is just the sort of introduction level, getting back on our feet, get the ball rolling again. And of course there'll be plenty of slow motion shooting as well, that's always good. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Until the next time, behave yourself.